cursed. Welcome. No, please come in. Don't leave, please come in. Welcome. Oh, we're so excited to have you here, aren't we? Stop that. Welcome to the cursed treasure shop. Did I say cursed? I meant blessed. The blessed treasure shop. How can I help you today, love? You look like you've travelled very far. 2 blocks. That's far for me. I'd have to stop at the local bakery for sustenance. Yeah. Just doing some Christmas shopping. That's lovely. Isn't that lovely? It's lovely. It's wonderful. So, are you looking for anything in particular? Because you've come to the right place for gifts, that's for sure. We have a very unique selection. Something different. How different are we talking here? Very different. You don't want soaps and, I don't know, brooms, ribbons and whatnot. Nothing of the sort you want. You want interesting items. Do you have interesting item funds? Say no more. Okay, since you are such a valued customer, I'm going to have my lovely companion here guard the door. Can you do that for me? Yes, they can. You can do it. Go do it, please. Okay, they're going to guard the door to make sure that nobody comes in here, and we have a private experience, just me and you. It's been so long since I've had a customer. Everyone thinks we're cursed. We're not cursed. No, just maybe we're a little bit cursed. There are a few items that I'll just show you. How about that? Perfect. Here. Do you know what this is? Have you seen one of these before? You have. That's exactly it. There have only been 5 that I've come across in my entire lifetime. And this is one of the smaller ones. A mermaid conch. Isn't it gorgeous? This beauty is used to summon mermaids. Would make an excellent gift. You simply walk up to the shoreline, as I'm sure you know, and speak into the conch. You say the words. Do you know the words? You're familiar with the ancient tongue. How marvellous. Well, you say the words into the conch as your feet are in the water, and your ankles must be absolutely covered in seawater as you do it. Otherwise it just won't work. Say the ancient words into the conch and give it about, I'd say, at least 5 breaths time, and within that time you'll start to see them. Oh yes, I have tried it once or twice. Never again. Not after the last time. That's my second companion of the year. We'll just say that. Mermaids are vicious creatures, especially when they're hungry. But they are beautiful. So beautiful. I'd like to visit them one day. This would be an excellent gift for those fascinated with the ocean and all her wonders, and particularly mermaids. This one is going to be 50, we'll go with 52 schmeckles. Very good condition. Okay, so that there is something that I think a lot of people this season are going to be looking for, particularly with all the, the new ports opening up around the kingdom. Everyone's been going to the water lately. I do have a few more things that I think would fascinate you if you're into, summonings and whatnot. Particularly, here. Oh, isn't this beautiful? It's gorgeous. Very, very old. Do you know what this is by any chance? Close. Good guess though. This is a container for a real life gin. I got it on my travels to the Middle East. I had to fight a lot of men to obtain this. Have you ever run into a gin before? Not many have. This particular gin has been known to be quite temperamental. Hasn't been released in about 73 years. Yes. From what the people of the land told me was that this is quite a mischievous gin. It is very, 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 very picky with whom he chooses to be kind to, bless, cater to. He is extremely fond of pranks. The things I've heard that this gin has done to villagers who have spilled blood in order to obtain him. They seem to think that the harder they fight for him, the more that he'll care, like some sort of princess, but he could care less. I know you hear me. The thing is, many people would be, deterred after hearing about the abominable things he's done to those who have summoned him. But the other myths and legends about this gin, I suppose, negate all the fear and worry about the prior. This is the exact gin that, according to myth, made the Moravia Mountains prosperous. The desolate desert land that was full of desert walkers, passers-by, wanderers. I really need to tape it. Don't need him accidentally escaping. Probably important too. Anyway, that desolate wasteland was made, as you know, into one of the most prosperous kingdoms, up until now even. He made their lands rich, their soils fertile, all because he cared for the daughter of the man who obtained him. So the man didn't even have to threaten or blackmail him. expensive. He's going to be around 175 schmickaroons. That's if your friend is into gins, of course. This is the ultimate option. I'll put this one back here. Okay. Is there anything else you'd be interested in? Anything specifically? There are so many things here, as I'm sure you've seen, and I'd like to narrow it down a bit if I could. Does your friend have, I don't know, a crush of some sort? People tend to have those, you know, especially this time of year. Yes, perfect. This one, this gift here is a little controversial, to say the least. It's a Primal Rose. Yes, you're familiar with these two. Wonderful, you're very educated. Primal Rose. These are very sought after in this region as well. They grow quite freely in my part of the kingdom. Yes. These things are wonderful. They make whomever you give them to crave you. This craving runs so deep that sometimes the target is unable to sleep for days, and it can have side effects like, deteriorating their health. Some of you sadistic freaks like that, though. You like to watch them suffer. You like to watch them beg for your company, your presence. As do I. I can't admonish you too much. I have used this from time to time, just for fun, really. The Primal Rose does have its side effects, and hence why some people tend to call it a curse in itself. Most of the time, it does the trick in making people crave you and cherish you and adore your very essence. But there are those few. You can never tell exactly who reacts this way and who doesn't and why they do, but one of the worst side effects is they crave you, but in a different way. Like they crave your flesh. Yes, it's quite disturbing, really. There have been instances where the person is just dying to sink their teeth into them after a few days of this gnawing on their mind. It turns from love and anguish to very dark things. Wanting to know what they taste like and wanting to know what they sound like when they scream and beg you not to. I of course haven't had any such instances in my usage, thank God. But some have. I had a friend who gave this to a crush, and he hunted her down for about 2 weeks until she finally destroyed a Primal Rose and was free of the curse. Very hit or miss. But I'd say about at least 30% of the time it works, so maybe 40. Let's go with 40, it sounds better. There's that. And then use these. This does the exact opposite of what most might assume. This is an animosity potion. I made it myself, and unlike the rose, this works 100% of the time. It's one of my best sellers, really. I absolutely love this potion. It took me about 40 to 45 years to develop. Absolutely perfect in every way. This animosity potion is for anybody who has a crush on somebody that happens to have a crush on somebody else. Whether it be, an old love, some village girl they saw walking in the marketplace, or someone that they view as a soulmate. It doesn't matter the level in which the person loves the other. This will eradicate any feelings they have for anybody they're currently obsessed with. Just pray that it's not you at the time, secretly. That would be awful. Most of the time, though, a lot of teenage girls and middle-aged men, for some reason, love to buy this potion. Ugh. Oh yes, of course it works. I created it. It makes it to the person who you want so bad. It makes it to where they absolutely forget that they ever even loved anyone else. They don't think of you, exactly. They don't even... This doesn't necessarily make them like you, but it does just eradicate any feelings they have for anyone they're currently obsessed with, to make room for you. Then you can make your move. When I make my move, you're free to check the game. That's my animosity potion. This is fairly cheap because it's so popular, and I make about 3 to 4 batches a week. This is going to be about 20 schmeckaroos. Very cheap, yes. Very cheap. I absolutely am so excited to show you this next one. These here are Petunia Whisper Beetles. Have you ever heard of these before? Oh, you're in for a treat. I'm actually having a sale on these because I have an abundance. They've breeded a lot this year, and I'm really just trying to get rid of them because they do have a lifespan of about a year and a half, depending on the size. But these Petunia Whisper Beetles are absolutely marvellous. I use these in ways that aren't necessarily ethical per se. I know they look like regular jewellery, but they're very much alive, these beetles. They're wonderful because, well, they speak to each other. So basically you can use these beetles to spy on people for you. Simply wear the beetles out in public, wherever you'd like to go. Whether it's a party, a get together at a tavern, a secret meeting, or just, somewhere out in the marketplace with regular town gossip going about. Basically, what you do is you get one of these beetle earrings, you take it off, and you place it in the location that you would like to hear is when my mother's in town and she's with her troll-looking friends. They're very beautiful, aren't they? These are also great if you want to gift them to someone. And go, here you are. And you really hate their guts and you know they're talking about you. You give them to them and say, oh, these are best friend earrings, you just wear one, you know. And you give it to them and they put it on their dresser, whatever, not knowing, because in this part of the kingdom, let's face it, no one knows what these are. And basically you can eavesdrop on any and everything they're saying for as long as you want, or as long as these things stay alive. Very useful. These go for about 30 schmickaroons. 30 schmickaroons together, yes. Of course, they're a pair. So, those are the Petunia Whisper Beetles. Oh, I absolutely adore this. Oh. This here was gifted to me from pixies of the land of the East. It's extremely rare. Very, very rare indeed. And it is extremely cherished by farmers and the poor. This makes plants grow. It's very fun to mess with, but it all depends on how you play it, the potency of its power, that is. So basically, you follow this book that comes along with it. This book is also from the pixies of the land of the East, and it is a song book. It has many different pages filled to the brim with songs. And these songs have words that go with them, but they aren't necessary for the flute itself. These songs are pertaining to different types of vegetation, different types of herbs, and it's basically a collection of compositions that are used to help your plants grow. The better you play the song, the more accurately you play the song, the faster and more luscious your crops will grow. The only catch with that one is, if you play the song incorrectly, your plants will die, depending on how bad you are though, which is why I don't really recommend it to people who aren't musicians or particularly good at playing instruments. Very, very fun though, especially if you don't have plants. You can just mess around with other people's plants, go in their gardens and help those you want to help and curse those you want to curse, I suppose. But I don't do that, of course not, no, of course. Famine in Northumberland. I don't even know what Northumberland is, I don't know what you're talking about. Did I cause all those families to starve because they embarrassed me in front of my brothers? That's petty, I would never do such a thing. Next item. This one's very fun. This here is a mood van traveler's purse. I know it doesn't look like a purse, nothing like one actually, but you see this little coin slot here? It automatically replenishes itself with and lodging for the night. Very, very handy when you just want to go pick up and take holiday somewhere, but you don't really want to think about money. It doesn't work at home though. You can shake it like now all you want, and no money will come out because it knows that you're home. But if you just happen to be passing by, and when I say passing by, I mean you can't stay there longer than a month, otherwise it knows that you're trying to live somewhere, don't know how, but it does. But as long as you're just passing through for a week or two, it will fill up with whatever currency of the land there is in your location, and all you have to do is shake it and the coins will come out. It's wonderful, really. I have about 3 of these. It's an excellent graduation gift for those who want to take a few years to travel after school, or just when people want to take a break from work. Go take the family out, explore the world for a little bit. You can really, really travel for a long time with these. There is no limit on how many places you can go, as long as you're not there for over about a month, as I've said. Very good gift of the traveller's purse, and it's so cute to look at it. I absolutely adore it. The little windmill there, and the thatch roof cottage. It's very beautiful indeed. This will go for about, let's say, what did I say the last one for? 17 schmeckles. Very, very, very nice gift for Christmas. Okay, I hope you're not squeamish. This next item is probably my most prized possession. It's a very special item. Here we are. I can't believe I'm actually touching it with my bare hands. Usually I use my leather gloves as to not stain it, but for showcase purposes. This is Samson's jawbone. Yes, this is the donkey jawbone that Samson used to slay the 3,000 men. When my grandfather found it, it was still caked in blood. When I say caked, I mean caked in blood. But it's been very cleaned off now. Do you see the teeth? We've had it tested. We've had it verified by a few very in the know individuals, to say the least. Very famous individuals for the craft, that is, and fabrication. And this is indeed it. I can't believe the teeth are still intact. It's fascinating. This one moves here. I don't know if these move. I almost don't know why I'm showing you this. I'm not quite sure I want to sell it. Even. It's almost priceless, really. This one is 3 schmeckbobs. They're not schmeckaroons, schmeckbobs. Very expensive, for obvious reasons. price so high as a way to ensure that nobody buys it. Couldn't dare be parted with it. It's just too rare an heirloom. But here it is nonetheless. Let's see what else to show you. Here we are. These are very fun. These are my Lazarus Flowers. They are immortal, meaning that they do never wilt. Black roses is what they resemble, and is what most people mistake them for. But these are not black roses at all. These are Lazarus flowers. Oh, the fun I've had with these. Lazarus flowers are miraculous in the fact that they resurrect small animals from the dead. These are great to give as a gift to those who've recently lost a beloved pet. It's even a greater gift when the person doesn't know that these exist or what they are. The looks on their faces when gifted these and told. Actually, it's even better when they're not told what these are capable of. Sometimes they get freaked out though, and when they see their pet starting to jolt back to life. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Some people call these cursed for that very reason though. The trauma that it's apparently caused a lot of people. Most of the time I think it is quite wise to tell people of their powers. It can only resurrect though small animals, that is, animals that are smaller or around the size of the average dog. A horse. No, you might get a little twitching from the horse for a few minutes, but it won't all the way come back to life necessarily. Don't even think about trying it on humans. Some people have. Hence why some people say these are cursed and should be burned. They should all be burned to the ground. But I happen to find the blessings that they bring, the light that they bring, worth the potential ruin. I had a cousin, sweet little girl, and she had a bluebird, and the cat ended up getting to it. She was devastated, cried for days and days, at least 3. I went into the forest and I spent many hours searching for that you use these, that you bring them around the deceased animal, the more powerful they'll be. Okay, I'll send these over here. Oh, this one's very fun. Oh, I absolutely adore this one. I should have showed you it earlier. This is a breath rock. Oh, I absolutely love these. I used to play with these as a young girl with my cousins on the beach. As you can see, it's not really a rock, rather a giant chunk of coral. A very beautiful giant chunk of coral. This beautiful, beautiful item allows you to breathe underwater for as long as you hold it, of course. We would spend hours collecting clams and lobsters and all sorts of shells, taking turns, of course, holding it and passing it to another and holding it. There is side effects, of course. Nothing that isn't temporary, though. Occasional kill pop up. The occasional shark will come investigate and look at you peculiarly. But they are wonderful, very little downsides. Besides one, I suppose, very major downside, and that is that the breath rock needs to be held in the hands at all times. When using it to breathe underwater, of course, you can pass it and then hold your breath and then receive it again and stay underwater that way. But if it's lost, and it'll know if it is lost, and you can't find it again on the sea floor, and you try to swim back up to the surface, you won't be able to breathe the air again, and you'll be stuck down there until you find it, really, or forever. Some say that's where the mermaids came from. They lost their breath rocks and just kind of conceded to their new lives and to the idea of never being able to be land dwellers again. I'm not really sure how much of that is true, or if it's true at all. But I'm not trying to find out. And you hear whispers of children that have lost their rocks before. I've heard it. Stories, at least, about it in kingdoms to the west, and that's why a lot of our mothers are hesitant about us playing with these breath rocks. But I think they're wonderful, as long as you're not an imbecile. This one will go for about 50 schmeckles. Did I say 50? I meant 15 schmeckles. Very fun gift, especially for children, responsible children. I almost forgot about this one. I haven't touched it in eons, really. Maybe a few weeks, actually, but this here. This was given to me from the village drunk. The one who claims he's from the future. Silly man. I don't know, though. Don't know what this contraption is for, necessarily. There's no way he could have made it. The man is delusional. Just out of his mind. He's completely lost his marbles, and yet a part of me can't help but wonder if he's telling the truth. I'm picture frame. Fascinating man. But, he went mad. Said that he couldn't find his way back home. Or something. You were there as a child, I'm sure. When he was still speaking of such things, do you recall? I figured as much. You're old enough to. Poor man drunk himself into oblivion. He claims that these were the ghost that he'd gobble up. Very pretty painting. I wonder if he did it himself, or if it really is from the future. Either way, I think it'd be a fun gift to give. Very strange contraption. Very strange indeed. This one I'll give to you all. Tinge maroons, and 5 if you can get it to do something cool. Okay. Not really sure there's anything else that would tickle your fancy. Oh, of course. There's can't believe I've almost forgotten about this too. Do you recognise this at all? Yay, nay. Aren't they gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. I think they're just mesmerising, really. These are crystals from the caves of Allendale. Yes, the ones deep in the mountains. I had only seen one cluster of these crystals as a child. They were from my very rich aunt's house. Mansion more so. Small castle, really. She had a cluster thrice the size of this, and she kept it next to her fireplace. Not nearly as shiny as these though, for some reason. What was that? Me. Glad you asked. I stole these from some foster trolls. There's only about 4 foster trolls, but I stole these from them nonetheless. They were eating a baby cow that they had found near the riverbank outside of the northern meadows, and I suppose that I was, what's the word, kleptomaniac. A bit of a kleptomaniac as a child. Don't know what I was thinking, really. It's very cocky, very egotistical. I thought nothing could hurt me, and I didn't even bother sneaking about. I just walked in there and grabbed this as I heard them chomping away at the baby cow out there, and just grabbed it. way they think they're cursed, please.